Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, sisters. You're watching Women's AM with myself, Adama, and on the panel joining me today, we have sisters Liz, Ayan, and our special guest from FOSA's Camellia. Alhamdulillah, we had a fantastic discussion about university life, and I wanted to have a quick comment from you guys on how you felt about that discussion. I'm going to start with you, Sister Liz.
I think it's such an important discussion to have, and you know, I think as all of us kind of mentioned before, pre-warned is pre-armed, as the saying goes. So you know, as long as you sort of anticipate what you're going to encounter at university, you know, inshallah, you can have a very positive experience there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we've had a very thought-provoking show where we've discussed the troubles that young Muslims face in university. Please watch our highlights on the show this Sunday at 5:30 p.m. to catch a few glimpses of what was discussed and other shows during the week. Up next is our segment, Inspirational Muslims. In this segment, we look at amazing personalities who, like predecessors from the early Muslim community, have taken on inspirational roles and made a great difference in this day and age. So for our last and final segment, we will be looking at Naima B. Roberts. She is a big name amongst sisters, at least within the West, and many of our viewers may or may not be acquainted with her. So I'm going to ask the question as to who is this amazing sister, Sister Liz?
Well, Naima B. Roberts, she is a revert to Islam. She was born in Leeds to a Scottish father and Zulu mother, so mixed background, and she encountered Islam through her travels in Egypt, where, you know, I love this quote. She approached a Muslim woman in, you know, obviously Islamic attire, and she asked, "Why do you dress like this?" And her reply, and I think, you know, lots of Muslim women will be familiar with this reply, "I want to be judged for what I say and what I do, not what I look like." And you know, how beautiful is that? And as a result of this and further research, she ended up in her second year of university taking her Shahada and becoming Muslim, alhamdulillah.
It's quite interesting because she actually went to my university years back, Queen Mary University. So when I met her, it was like, mashallah, we're kind of like sisters here on another level, mashallah. And she did a first class degree. She attained a first class degree in business, French and politics. And even when she went to Egypt, reading from her book, From Her Sister's Lips, which you've got there, so that's her autobiography, she talked about how she went to Egypt to be part of a musical festival, and she's taken on so many different roles since that time, being a teacher, as well as being a musician as well. But just coming to some of her achievements, because one of the things that she did, which was a big step for her, was to take on the niqab. And what with so much debate about the place of hijab and niqab within society, you think, okay, as a sister, what can I actually do? And she's actually gone up her way to produce a number of books. Looking at her biography, the first book that she actually published was a child's book called The Swelling Hijab. And since then, she has published so many more picture books, 13, and which have been published in 31 languages. And I'm actually currently reading her first young adult book called From Somali with Love. So it's a really interesting story. I haven't finished it yet, so I can't give you any sort of details onto that. But one of the beautiful things that she's been doing ever since she started writing is looking at what it means to be a multicultural Muslim within society. And I think that's a really, really important thing to discuss as well, alhamdulillah. And she's actually got a number of magazines that she's published. She's actually the co-editor of Sisters. I don't know if any of you guys have read this before.
Yeah, I love Sisters magazine.
Yeah, so what is the whole hype about Sisters magazine? And
well, I think the idea behind Sisters magazine was just having the sort of glossy lifestyle magazine that had interesting articles, like lots of variety. You know, they have like a bit of fashion, a bit of cooking, and then they have like the really interesting articles about sisters that are out there doing amazing things. You know, unusual jobs, that kind of thing. And there's, you know, also lots of, you know, very religious articles in there as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is one of the first magazines of its kind, alhamdulillah. And as you say, to talk about different things across the board that affects Muslim women, which is really, really important. And something that's a lot more relevant to you, Ayan, because you've got a son, Discover, is one of her latest magazines as well.
He loves it. It's a brilliant magazine for kids, and what it does is it's got puzzles, little brain teasers, Islamic stories, that's been written for children. They've got a little cookery section as well for the kids.
Oh, wow.
It's in the kitchen with Khalid, and my son loves it. He goes through it and he says, we've got to make that, but we haven't got the ingredients. Let's go get it. So it's really, really lovely. It's one of those things that you don't have to worry about the content once you've got your children reading. You can be totally confident in that whatever they read, alhamdulillah, is not going to have a negative impact.
Absolutely. I mean, what do you think about what kind of work she's done? Because, I mean, she's published quite a number of different titles, like Going to Mecca from Somalia with Love, Ramadan Moon. What do you think about the sort of achievement that she's sort of attained here?
I just think we need more Muslim females working in these areas. Like, if a younger Muslim wants to pick up a book, most of the time, they don't feel like the novels, literature is addressing the issues that are facing young Muslims. And I think it's really important that Muslims have that, incorporate Islam into like all areas, including literature, including like young adults reading, especially because you're at that age where you feel uncomfortable about who you are, especially like if you feel like you've got that double identity as like a Pakistani or a Muslim, or like living in this kind of environment. And I think it's important to reconcile that through like all like means. And I think it's great that she's working in literature and like young adults reading. And I think even with children, you bring them, and you can see this magazine, like it's something that mums would like as well, because the design so it's just catering for like the whole family. And I think that's great, because
I think it's quite interesting, because we have a lot of Muslim female authors out there, that I would say that we're kind of developing a canon of female Muslim authors who are trying to express their identity through literature and writing as well. And being a sort of MA English literature student, I can see that that is something that alhamdulillah is a wonderful thing that we're seeing within the community as well. But what kind of lessons can we take from her life, and what kind of inspiration can sisters take from what she's done, Sister Yan?
There is a life beyond the home. Do you know what I mean? Because mashallah, this sister, she's got a lot of kids herself, and it doesn't hinder her from doing what she needs to do. And it's about finding your passion and making time for it, because the thing is, you're never going to have time to do anything unless you make the time for it. So just, sisters, go out there. A lot of people say that we don't see enough Muslim women doing this, that, or the other. And I think sometimes it's down to us not taking that step, towards doing certain things. And it's okay to be out there, to represent, not just representing yourself as a person, but representing, Islam, the Muslim community, the Muslim woman.
Absolutely.
And the more we have that, inshallah, we can change the way people view Muslim women, because at the moment we look like we're, a sad bunch who don't have much of a life, and we're not. There's so much more to us than that.
There is so much passion amongst a lot of sisters out there, and it's fantastic that she's sort of carried this forward in her work. So, alhamdulillah, one of the quotes that I'd like to leave, which she said in one of her editorials, is that inside each one of us there is a desire to be part of something bigger than ourselves. And I think that's something that we need to kind of take on board, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. So barakallah fiqh for that. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of the show and the end of the week. But before we go, this week on Women's AM, we're holding an exciting competition for you sisters out there. So up for some grabs are some halal cosmetics by FX. To be in with a chance to win these goodies, all you have to do is answer the following question. Which name of Allah means the all-loving? Is it A, Al-Majid, B, Al-Wadud, or C, Al-Latif? To enter, email your answer A, B, or C to womensam@islamchannel.tv, along with your name and address and what you most like about Women's AM. The deadline for entries is the 25th of January at 4 p.m. All applicants need to be over 18 and residing in the UK. Please note, only one entry per person per household. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, sisters. We'll see you next week, where we'll be looking at the issue of homelessness. Barakallah fiqh for joining us.